Welcome to People. I'm Shirley Lin. My guest today is Lisa Wang, Wang Liren, who's a Taiwanese celebrity, and she does a whole lot of things. You know, she hosts TV programs, she hosts events programs. She was and is probably still an actress. But anyway, it's amazing how I get to meet her today and hear about her story and her life. So she's been back in Taiwan 14 years, and actually probably her mother tongue is English more so than Chinese, since she's been in the States since 7 years old, right?
Yes, about 7.
Right. So here's Lisa.
Hi, my name is Lisa Wang. Nice to meet you guys.
All right. You know, I'm amazed because I have seen you on, Taiwan's TV programs, and I never thought that you're more fluent in your English than your Chinese.
Yes, I know. I think I've kept that secret for some reason because, like as an ABC, you don't want people here to think you're an ABC because it's very different culture, and when I first came back, I feel like, people see ABCs differently, and I want really to fit in with the crowd. So then I'm very low-key about who I am, where I'm from, just to fit in, and nobody knew, actually, I grew up from the States.
Wow, I didn't even know. So you moved to the States because of your father's job, or?
No, just my family were immigrated there when I was 7.
All right, okay,
Yeah.
great. And you graduated from Barnard College and Columbia University, majoring in English.
Yes, English major.
English major. All right, very typical. But it's interesting how you ended up back here in Taiwan, which you didn't think 14 years ago.
Yes, if I knew I was going to come back to Taiwan, I think I would have learned Chinese a lot better when I was growing up. But, as a kid, you just feel like you're never going to come back to Taiwan. I don't need to learn Chinese. So I was a really bad student. And I feel really bad about that right now.
Oh, but at least, you've kind of polished up on your Chinese these 14 years you've been back, right?
Yes, definitely. And when I was younger, my dad was saying, you're Chinese, you need to know your roots. You got to learn Chinese. But I guess as a teenager, you really didn't want to listen to your parents. But as you grew older, you realize how important it is to know your roots. So then after I came back, I actually learned a lot of my Chinese from my acting.
Ah, that's right. Now that could have been hard because I know how my Chinese is that I'm better at speaking it,
Right.
but reading it makes me sound like a foreigner, a total foreigner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah. So now that you're back, and it's quite by accident that you're back here because at the time you were just with your ex-boyfriend and you came back to Taiwan, sort of like on his business trip or so.
Well, no,
sort of?
just because I guess he wanted to check out Taiwan, and I've never been back after we immigrated over to the States. So I figured, okay, after college, let's check out Taiwan, this place that I was born in, but I'm not familiar with.
Right.
And that's why I'm back.
But that was moving back to Taiwan?
No, we were just going to
okay.
be here for a year. We were just going to check out this place.
Oh, a year. That's a long
Yes,
time.
a
And
year
you were,
now turned into 14 years.
Yeah, so you never went back after that.
No, of course I did.
Oh, you did?
I went back every year and every other year. But in the recent years, I haven't had a chance to go back because my family's here. I've been too busy. I go to China a lot these days, so
Ah, all right.
yeah.
Yeah, so what happened was that you were just accompanying your friend then to some kind of casting. And then the people there asked if you wanted to go along and cast yourself, like an audition too.
Well, the story was I actually went with a friend to a casting, and it was for a magazine called Men's Uno. It's a pretty popular magazine here.
It is.
For guys. And they're looking for good-looking guys. My friend is a good-looking guy, and then I was just there because his Chinese wasn't very good, and you always need a support. So the editor actually saw me, and then they're like, okay, do you want to do this photo shoot with us? We're going to Kending. And I was like, me? Because I'm really petite. I don't have the height to be a model, but I guess he thought I fit the part.
I guess you got the face for it.
Maybe, but he got 2 guy models who are like 6 feet tall. So they're like a head taller than me, but it didn't matter, I guess, for print. So for print, they can actually get different shots from different angles. So it looks good. And that's how my career in modeling in Taiwan took off.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean that they took shots so that you would look taller than you actually are.
Well, I mean, for print ads and for magazine shoots, you actually can't tell if somebody is way shorter. It's not catwalk. Catwalk, you have to be tall to fit the clothes. But for print, it's okay. You know, if something is too long, you kind of just, you know, taper it or do something with it. It's all about the angle and the way the photographer takes the picture. And as long as your proportion is good, it's fine. So I guess I have pretty good proportion that even though I'm not too tall, it's okay.
Got it. And your parents felt fine with you going to showbiz, so to speak?
Not in the beginning, because as all Asian parents, they don't really want their kids to get into entertainment. They feel something that's more stable is to be a doctor or a lawyer.
Yes, that's very typically Taiwanese parents.
Yes.
Mine too, yes.
So they were very surprised that I actually got into this entertainment industry. I was too. I never thought I was going to get into this industry because this is something I'm very unfamiliar with.
Yeah. But then you did some acting.
Yes, I started off as an actress. I still am. I just choose my parts very wisely these days.
Oh, really? Okay. So you're doing mostly travel programs, is that right?
I do a variety of stuff.
Okay.
Because actually, the way I look, people don't think that I would like to travel. This is how Taiwanese people, they see me, they think I'm a princess. Because I look very girly, but growing up in the States, we're all very independent. So I truly believe in the saying that you cannot judge a person by the cover, right? So, you cannot judge a book by its cover.
Right.
That's the saying.
Right.
Because I look this way, but deep down inside, I'm something else.
Yeah.
So I really like to go to different places and to show people different things, to experience different things that normally people wouldn't want to do. I mean, normally I may not want to do myself either because it's really hard work. But I want to share with people an experience they might not have.
So what are you talking about when you're talking about those things you might not even necessarily want to do?
Well,
like climbing
usually, yeah,
mountains?
right? You know, going
scuba
to
diving?
Well, those are things that people actually would want to do sometime when they go on vacation. But for the travel shows that I did, we probably would go to a place that's not as well off as where we are right now. And it's not a vacation destination that you will want to plan if you are to plan a trip with your friends or family. Because you go to places that are just really full of hardship. But by going to those places, you actually see how people in the world are living, and you see how lucky you are to have what you have. And you appreciate everything a lot more.
Right. You're talking about Cambodia and Vietnam,
Right.
right? Because you've been to those places, in fact, for your travel program.
Yes, I was lucky enough that last year I did a travel program. It's called Adventures. In Chinese, it's 惊奇大冒险. So it's actually full of amazing adventures, actually. Adventures that you would never have if I would never have if I didn't have a chance to host this show.
Yeah, because I believe we're both, well, no, actually, you're not a city girl. I am. So
I'm a city girl. I grew up in the city.
Right, but then considering that you're able to host those kind of programs and then climb a tree or climb a mountain, you would do those things,
yeah,
right?
that's because I think it's an experience that is very rare, and then we should open up to different things.
I think
Otherwise,
so too.
we're just going to be in this, glass menagerie, which is just very sad.
Yeah, it's true. And in fact, you were saying that people don't see you as someone who is a backpacker and, go out in the wild and start climbing or making a campfire or something like that. But something else that you said your parents got you into is giving to charity. And I think that's what you're really involved in lately.
Right. Education is very important, I guess, because I grew up in the States. So I know that ever since we were in elementary school, we've been educated to give back. It's important to be successful in life, but what's successful? It's not about fame, power, money. There's other stuff to it. You have to have a balance in life. And I guess ultimately growing up there in school with my parents' background, they taught us to give back to society. They taught us to actually to not just want all the things that everybody want and that's it. There's more to life than what everybody's looking for. So it's been instilled in my head, in my mind, all these years. But being back in Taiwan, actually getting to a different culture, getting to a different industry, for a long time there, I actually didn't have time to do the stuff that I was used to and actually liked. And so I felt that I really wasted a lot of my time just waiting on my schedule, which I'm not really used to, because when I was younger, I planned my own schedule. I have a planner. I would know what I'm going to do next week. But in the entertainment industry here, you don't. You know, you're waiting on your agent to give you your schedule. So, and I really didn't know the culture, so I really didn't know how to communicate and tell them what I want. Tell them maybe I'm more interested in this as opposed to that.
And maybe because your Chinese was limited then.
Yes,
you could really
yes.
communicate.
I think communication is very important. My Chinese is not so good, and I guess because of that, communication is very poor. So after my contract is up, you know, I realized I really want to have control of my own life, and I really want to start doing what I've always loved to do and wanted to do also. I like a balance in life, you know. I like to work, but then I also want to do other things that I feel that because we are lucky enough to have this kind of lifestyle, we really should do more than we can. Just a little bit more.
Sure, sure. So what kind of things have you been doing?
Well, so before, when I really didn't have my own schedule in my own hands, I would just volunteer when I do have the time. I would work for free, you know, like usually for a job, maybe they ask you to host. Your agents will probably negotiate a price, but then because I feel if it's something for a nonprofit organization, I'm willing to give my time. But because I'm waiting on my schedule all the time, I really can't make a decision. So sometimes I really can't help out when I really wanted to. So now what I do is, because of all the friends that I made in the entertainment industry, I feel like it's kind of my duty, because I have these connections to actually get people to help out. Artists, other celebrities, other artists to help out with less fortunate organizations. So these days I kind of help other people and help organizations who want to promote the less fortunate NPO organizations.
To name a few, can you give a specific charity work that you're...
Well, 6 years ago, actually, I encountered this organization called SCPA. In Chinese, it's called Taipei 流浪猫协会. So they help animals. They help cats specifically. So they actually promote TNR. So they promote adoption. And they're one of those organizations that actually work very hard, but because they're very limited with volunteers and staff. So I've seen how they grow throughout the years, and now I realize actually what they need. They need more PR, they need more publicity, they need more money. And that's what all these fundraisings are for. I mean, growing up in the States, in schools every year, actually every month you have like fundraisers, except as kids, we didn't know that these are fundraisers. We just thought that it was fun that you have these fairs, you know, you can go have fun and buy raffle tickets. And now I fully understand the reason behind this. You know, when you're growing up, you're selling chocolates. I didn't know the point to that. I just thought that if I sold enough, I would get this prize. But these are all fundraisers. So I now finally fully understand the idea, and then that's when I started sitting down thinking about it. I feel like, you know what, I've got to use my connections, the friends that I made in the industry, to actually help out these less fortunate NPOs.
Wow, that is amazing. So you love animals, so you would have a heart for all these charitable work for, you know,
I love animals,
saving
but
animals,
not just animals.
Yeah,
for
not
me,
just animals.
Yeah, for me it's very important to actually look into different organizations that are less fortunate, that needs help, because I realize that name brand is so important. Because if you're a corporate company, if you want to donate at the end of the year, you usually go for something that you heard of. So then it's always the bigger name NPOs that you would think of donating or sponsoring. But what about those ones that you've never heard of? Actually, they do a lot of work, just that you don't know them. So for me, my goal is to help those that needs more exposure. But then I do research, of course, because there's so many. Just in Taiwan alone, for every different NPO, there's so many that you won't believe. For animal organizations alone in Taipei, there are like 20.
Yeah. And then there are some that are probably not really legitimate, but anyway, so you would do your research.
So you have to do a research, and that's why I think a lot of people, they're more comfortable donating to NPOs that they've heard of, because they know that at least the money that they donate, it goes to somebody legit. But then again, because you don't do your homework, you're not researching, or you're not really looking to other ones, then you might be missing out on ones that actually need a lot of help, and actually they work hard too.
Yeah,
So.
right. I think there was one where you asked quite a number of female celebrities to, or maybe even male celebrities too, to design these bags, clutch bags or something.
Right. So
yeah.
last year, at the end of
right.
last year, we had a project. I have a paper bag brand, and we donated bags out to artists, actually. So basically, my company, we donate the bags. This is what we did. And the artists, what they did is they donate their artistic ability and their time to draw on these bags and design these bags. So we got about 108 artists to participate. And after the design, we put all of these bags on Yahoo Kimo. And it's a bidding process.
Right.
Everything starts at NT $1.
Right. Oh,
So
that's right.
people can go on the internet to bid for these bags. Every time these bags go on, they have 10 days for people to bid on it. So for this project, we're actually helping Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Oh, okay.
Everybody knows about Make-A-Wish. It's really big in America, but the thing is, I didn't know they had one in Taiwan.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so I was helping Make-A-Wish. I mean, growing up, we had all these events, we're volunteers, so we know about Make-A-Wish. And I actually helped Make-A-Wish in Hong Kong as well. But when I realized that there was one in Taiwan, I felt really bad that I didn't know about it. And that's why I came up with the idea maybe we should help promote them a little bit in Taiwan. Because their Chinese name is actually kind of, misgiving. People think they are helping kids with Down syndrome. In Chinese, it's called 喜愿协会, Taiwan.
Right.
So, people kind of associate it with something else.
喜憨儿.
Yes,
yeah,
喜憨儿.
Down syndrome.
So I know that Make-A-Wish Foundation, they are pretty wealthy in some ways because they're pretty strong, but the things, they need a lot more people to know who they are because they're helping a lot of kids to make their wishes come true. And I think for me, last year when we did this, we actually had an exhibition, Taipei 101. Taipei 101 actually supported us by giving us their 4th floor space for free for 10 days to exhibit these bags. So I think, it's good to have art and culture and charity together. And then simultaneously, you have people, to appreciate a lot of things and learn about a lot of things. And I was really grateful that actually more people came to know what Make-A-Wish Foundation is and what their goal was and what they did.
Oh, that is cool. What other creative ideas you've had in terms of charity work or volunteer work that came from you?
Actually,
I think you're really into this, and I think you have a lot of great ideas. And they stand out if they're creative enough. You know how it is in Taipei. These fads come and go. And there's always this competing for, the more creative you are, the more you'll be noticed,
Yes,
Isn't it so?
Yes, it is. And it's hard to do charity, I have to say, because if I wasn't the one to start some of these projects, I would never know how hard it is. But you cannot always ask people to just donate. You know what I mean? If every month you ask people to donate, people are going to get tired of it. People are going to wonder why. Why am I always giving money? So you have to think of different things, fun events, different events to do sorts of fundraising. So during the Chinese New Year, I figured I have some time. So I'm into aromatherapy and really into herbal stuff. So then I got some herbal teas that I bought back from Europe. So these are my own keepsake. But then I figure, you know what, I should do something with them to share with the world instead of just my friends and family. So then I made tea bags out of these herbal teas and I sold them.
Right.
So then every time you buy, a pack of tea, then it's donated to Love Rabbit or SCPA. So my goal for Chinese New Year was to help 2 organizations, SCPA, and there is an organization called Love Rabbit. They
really
help
means
rabbits.
Rabbits.
Yes.
Have you ever kept a rabbit before? Is that why?
No, my cousin did.
Okay.
But it's just, for me, as long as an organization is very into helping what they believe in, I believe what they do, I will try to help as much as I could, even though it's something very little.
Yeah.
We can only do the best that we can. I mean, not a lot of people know that there is actually an NPO that just, goes to helping rabbits alone, but there are. And you know how Chinese people, like the year of the rabbit, they will buy a lot of rabbits, and then after that year they're like, oh, okay, the year is over, so let's just let them go. So they leave these rabbits out at parks, and it's very sad. They can't take care of themselves.
Yeah, you're right. I
Yeah.
know. Yeah. Now, this could be a sensitive question, but I know that any NPOs, if they could get a celebrity as a backing, it really benefits them.
Yes.
But then for you to be able to convince all the other celebrities to give their time in, I don't know, designing a bag and all that kind of stuff. I mean, do you sometimes get a little bit of like not enough, how should I put it? Not enough backing from that because they don't have the time, or they think that, oh, this is another charity thing, and they think that, do you know what I mean?
Yes, I totally know what you mean.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating, but
Isn't it?
this is life, So then I feel that if you believe what you're doing, you're going to meet ups and downs and encounter many different hardships and obstacles. But, you just got to look on the bright side. You see different sides to different people when you really get down to it, and do something. And yes, for a certain project where maybe celebrities might think, well, are you using me to back up maybe a brand or something? But, when you're really even not thinking about that, you just want to do something that's fun, that's creative, that will help fundraise and raise awareness. But I guess, people think differently, and because it's the industry, I mean, for celebrities, they get sponsorships. So for many things that they do, you do get paid. So when it's something that's for free, that requires you to kind of give your time without payment, sometimes, people might feel there's a lot of work. And sometimes celebrities, they might feel it's okay, but their agents might feel that, no, we may not want them to do that, because if they did that, another organization, they probably will want the same, and we don't have time for all of this. But to me, I feel like at the end of the day, it's really up to what you believe in and what you want. Because I feel if it's a product sponsorship, endorsement, it's different.
Yeah.
Of course, money's involved. But I sincerely believe that when it comes to charity, this is not how people should be thinking. It shouldn't be up to the agents. It should be up to you, the person. If you want to endorse something for charity, say a few words to, kids that are in need, to get people to raise more awareness. I don't think another organization would feel bad about you helping out another organization. So, don't think so much. Just follow your heart.
Yeah.
That's what I believe.
That's true. That's true. How do you convince them? I mean, sometimes it takes you to explain why you're doing this and why you care so much about it. But then, of course, it depends on whether they're willing to listen to you or something like that. And sometimes maybe you're putting a lot of money in organizing the whole thing, or maybe even a press conference, and then not that many people show up. I mean, I'm sure you sometimes experience this kind of frustration.
Yeah, we try to do things without putting money in because we try to fundraise. So if you're going to be putting money in, you have no money to give. So that's another hardship, right? You have to try to get everything for free. You have to get sponsors. And it's all about asking for favors. So that's why when I started putting up events, organizing events, I realized it's really not easy, and you really have to have a thick face. And 我的脸皮没有那么厚. My face is not that thick, really. But that's why you have to, kind of brainwash yourself sometimes. That's why I keep saying, if you believe what you do, you're going to see a rainbow somewhere. But it gets really, it's kind of, sometimes I get all emotional also. One moment I'm so happy that I have these people that are really vehement about what I'm doing, and they're so grateful. They're like, oh, great. And the next moment I encounter something and I'm like, oh my gosh, why am I doing this? Why am I putting myself in this position? In Chinese they call 吃力不讨好. You're trying to do something that's a good deed, but people might not think it. And people might think you're annoying. Why are you hassling me? I have more to do. Stop calling me. Stop asking me to make videos. Stop asking me to give this for free or that for free, but there's nothing you can do. I mean, we're all trying to do just a little bit to give back. And if everybody has the money, then there wouldn't be such a thing called fundraising.
Yeah, that is true. Well, it's amazing how you're doing all this good stuff. What's your next thing that you're working on in terms of charity work? Yeah.
Well, there's, I don't know, it's just somehow continuously projects are coming in with charity. People actually, a lot of people out there, they are all for giving back to society. I think these days, especially in Taiwan in the recent years, people are more aware of charity, and then they're more willing to give and give more time. It's just that a lot of people, they don't know how to give.
Yeah.
And to give back. So, I have people asking me to maybe help them to set up a charity event because they want to do something to fundraise. But then, of course, with the help of celebrities, it's a lot easier to get people, other people, normal people to be involved, So right now, actually, this brand, Duchess Leather, they actually hosted a charity event where everything you buy from them, they give 10%, and they work with bloggers who actually are selling their secondhand clothing, and then they asked me to help because I have some celebrity friends who may have some secondhand clothing to sell. And so for this whole month of March, we have sales at the showroom.
Okay.
So 10% of their stuff will all go to charity for CCSA. It's an organization that helps teenagers that are less fortunate from dysfunctional families. And for the artist part, actually, everybody is different. Like for me, I donate 100% of my clothing, so whatever is sold is all given away. And some artists, they say, okay, 10%, other artists says 50. So this is just something fun. So then for this month, every day at their showroom, people can go and shop. And every weekend we have events. And so for today's Friday, tomorrow Saturday, we have our last event where CCSA founder is going to come, they're going to make a speech, and then we hope by doing this to raise more awareness so then people know what they do. And of course, to do some final fundraising.
Wow, that is great. So you're keeping yourself very busy with that.
Yes.
And then what else are you busy with right now?
Of course, my regular job. I'm a TV personality, and I do host shows, I go on shows, I act, and so basically, I have to balance everything with what I do on the side. Charity is not my full-time job. It's my, I guess you can call it hobby. Because it's something that I feel that I'm fortunate enough to be at a position where I am. So I want to give back. And I know I'm not like somebody who's like extremely famous, like in Taiwan, Luo Zishang show, he's just like, the guy, right? But still, there are many of us celebrities out there who's willing to use our fame to help out society and to give. And I think that's enough for a lot of people, because for a lot of people, they cannot even get help like this. So as long as we work together and we're a team, I think this world could be a better place.
That is true. So, so what kind of work that you enjoy more than others? I'm talking about your other career side.
I
Your
actually
travel program, you
I
do
actually
that
like
more?
all aspects of
you do?
entertainment.
Okay.
And that's why I'm in it. I mean, I love acting. I love to be somebody that's not me. So I love playing a different character. I love hosting travel shows because I love sharing experiences. And I'm in the process of negotiating a show where we're going to different areas, like in the mountains of Taiwan, to actually show the kids there. There are actually a lot of kids who are in the mountainsides who are less fortunate.
Yeah.
So we want to do a show that are positive, that's fun for the normal viewers, but actually allow these kids to see a different world out there.
That's your idea? Just bring these less fortunate kids to see
No, it's
the
not
world?
just my idea.
Oh,
it's
okay.
a producer. Actually,
good.
he's been working on this for 3 years, so we've been working on this idea together. But of course, because this show is not like one of those other variety shows in Taiwan where it's just talk shows or game shows, there's more depth to it. So there are a lot of things to be discussed. So it took him 3 years to actually get to where he is now. And if everything works out, we'll start filming maybe in May.
Oh, it hasn't started, but it's going. All right.
Pre-planning actually takes a lot for certain shows like this, because we actually have to go into different areas. So you have to scout out locations. You have to do your research on population and just the different scopes of things.
All right. I've always wondered, I'm so bad at memorization. How do you memorize scripts? When it comes to acting, how do you do it?
Well,
Just do it?
Well, you really have to just, feel your part. If you just want to memorize, just word by word is really hard, especially for someone like me who can't read Chinese. So
Yeah.
you have to actually just get yourself in that mode and try to understand what you're saying. You have to understand it so you can feel it.
All right.
So you don't sound like a robot.
You don't have to memorize every single word,
Of course,
right?
I mean, you don't have to do that these
As long
days
as
because
you-
it's not normal. Then you don't sound like yourself.
I see. Okay. Now, I did ask you that to think ahead was that if one day you were to leave Taiwan, what's that one sound you would miss that's typically Taiwan?
The one sound, I used to live in one of those old walk-ups in Yonghe, and every day, like sometime in the afternoon, I will hear babu babu, babu babu.
It's this ice cream man, but
Yes.
not with a truck.
No, bicycle. He has a
yeah.
bicycle, and then he has his. It's
His
like the
horn.
ice cream is more like gelato.
Yeah.
It actually tastes like gelato, and my favorite is taro. And then he has this.
It's a horn.
It's a horn. That's why it makes that sound babu babu.
Right.
So I actually miss that. It's very old school, and
Yeah.
it's very cool. It's something that you will never hear if you're not in Taiwan.
Exactly. It's typically Taiwan.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Lisa.
Thank you, Shirley.
Yeah, I can see that you have a great heart for giving to society. So good luck in that area,
Yes.
honestly.
Good
Thank
luck
you.
to all of us.
All right, okay. Thank you,
very
Lisa.
much.
Thank you for watching, people. I'm Shirley Lin.